I would rather spend additional money buying you the same meal than you take from my food, because it just that's I feel like that's my food. That's my food. I don't mind taking from yours because do you know what I mean? That's just how it is. I take from yours. And I don't mean it in that selfish way. I would take from yours, but I don't have the same process in taking from yours in the same way because food was just always available for me to eat in that sense of I wasn't sharing it. At the same time, I wouldn't just take from somebody's food because I'm only child. It's not that not I'm not that unaware. So I want to review a video by a married couple called the Perrys, well that's their surname. Jackie Hill Perry and Preston Perry. They've been married for quite a while. I've known of them for a very long time. So I want to review their video on friendship that came out recently because I think it was a fantabulous video that really broke down platonic relationships. Because I think when we hear about a lot of relationships, it's always romantic. But our first relationship is platonic. Our first relationship is meant to be familial, is meant to be our families, is meant to be the relationship with your mother, your father, your siblings, your cousins, your extended family, your grandparents, or if everything happens as it should, ideally you would have your mother, your father, you will have siblings, you will have cousins, you will have grandparents, you have an extended village around you and you're building relationships with each person um and really understanding and giving you the equipment and the foundation of what it would be when you become an adult and you have to navigate the adult life and build all these different types of relationship from your co-workers to friends and colleagues and business partners and romantic relationships, etc., etc. So let's get straight into it. But the first bit, I just think it's really funny. I'm going to let it play. But the first bit you're going to see, however, you are going to see a bit that she asked her husband a question about being a single, being an only child, and how does that manifest itself in marriage. And I feel like this is really how it manifests in marriage with my husband because I'm an only child and he came from a big family. Ready? Are you ready?
Stuff.
Do you feel like me growing up as an only child makes me like a bad wife?
Oh, let's not talk about this stuff. Why would you ask such a crazy question?
It came to my mind.
No. Why would you?
What are some of the advantages you think of me growing up alone and how it's served me in life?
People who listen might think we planned this, but this was really random.
No, it literally just came to my mind.
What are some advantages of
Like,
you
how do you think
growing
me
up
growing up by myself has actually served?
served you? I think that it's allow you to know how to sit and quiet. I think it's a benefit in that of not always having to talk and not always having to be doing something with someone. Because I mean, Eden has an issue. Eden has the same issue that I have. It's like,
Yeah,
no,
she literally can't be alone.
can't be alone, and like everybody don't always.
But what's funny is this is something I have to unpack in another video because this element of being an only child and my husband being amongst siblings, he was the only boy. So in his mind, he also feels to a degree that that he was an only because he's an only boy. So only boys understand. Sometimes even only girls. So you could be an only girl amongst brothers. There is a level of only, right? Because you're the only gender of that. Only sibling of that gender. And he said he didn't really like people. He liked animals. He was a very odd child growing up, which his siblings or confirm that's how it was. So he actually wasn't that type of child that liked to be around people. He actually prefers not to be around people. So he had to learn in adulthood that it don't run like that. You do have to engage with people. So it isn't that because he grew up in a sibling, lots of siblings that he craves, like he likes to be around people. So it just shows you different dynamics and different nuances. Just because you are an only child doesn't mean you're going to be like every only child. There is an only child syndrome, and it is like symptoms or certain behaviors and characteristics that can be ascribed to only children, but you're not going to fit everything. And in this situation, um I can be by myself because I spend a lot of time on my own, and I can be amongst people as well.
Have to like entertain you.
Right.
Like Autumn want to just play with her Barbie down, her penny, go upstairs
Yeah.
and wait till she want to play with you.
But I can do that a lot. Like I like to read. That's like one of my favorite pastimes. So like sometimes I do feel like I have to choose between reading and being with people, but I've learned that it's people find it rude. So I because people find it rude, I choose to engage with people. But sometimes I would prefer to actually read my book. I would prefer to just read my book without having to engage with people. But we live in a social world, so you got to engage.
You know, yeah. I think
that's all you have. Wow.
I mean, this is like
I can hear you like saying, "Oh, there's nothing else."
Nah, you can't be saying that. But it is like a random question. Like, what you want me to do with that? Like, what are some benefits of me growing up with siblings?
Oh, you see how you moved on to you that fast?
Yeah, maybe I can think about some stuff.
I don't know.
See, I had more than you.
well, maybe you share.
What? You answered that like a 4-year-old. You share.
You
I was like, what?
No, when we met, I remember how like liberal you were with your stuff. Like it wasn't. You didn't have to consider or think about sharing. To me, I have to, not anymore because I got kids and I'm married and stuff. But before, I used to have to really like process.
Nah.
Oh, they want something I have.
Nah.
I'm telling you, this is now where the only child thing is. She talks about it. Well, what she basically talks about, is the fact that growing up, you have the fridge to yourself. Like the fridge is me and my mum's. Really growing up, if my mum was the same size as me, I literally would have worn everything that she wore, right? I think that's probably the only thing I couldn't do. But everything she had was mine. Now, there was things I didn't touch. There's things you don't touch your mum has. Hey, don't touch your mummy's things. But generally speaking, food, there wasn't a situation where I'm sharing it with another person. So that is the one area you will see my only child like characteristics come out. So if even now, like if I buy a chocolate bar, she talks about that, or I buy food and you want my food, I don't mind you eating it. I don't always offer. So, but I offer now because I know that's what you need to do. You need to offer. Like if I buy food, do you want? In my head, I'm like, yeah, please, guys. Don't want it, yeah. Don't want it. I would rather spend additional money buying you the same meal than you take from my food, because I feel like that's my food. That's my food. I don't mind taking from yours though, because do you know what I mean? That's just how it is. I take from yours, and I don't mean it in that selfish way. I would take from yours, but I don't have the same process in taking from yours in the same way, because food was just always available for me to eat in that sense of I wasn't sharing it. At the same time, I wouldn't just take from somebody's food because I'm only child. It's I'm not that unaware of other people's boundaries and stuff, but I don't process it in the same way. So where some people are more readily, do you want? Like they like before they eat, do you want? I don't do that, but you can have if you want it. But I would actually rather buy you an extra pair of chips. Like, can you just leave my chips alone, please?
Like why?
I always used to tell you the first time, like I asked you for a piece of your Snicker. We were friends, and you was like, "I can buy you one." I was like, she had one of those long joints. That's when Snicker first started like separating the two Snickers inside the package. And I'm like, she got one of them long joints, and I'm hungry. I forget where we was at, but I was like,
we had just left a legacy meeting.
Yeah, I'm like, well, I just can't get a piece of your Snicker. He was like, I can buy you one, but this is my Snicker. And it was very logical. And I was like, wow.
No, and I wasn't even trying to be selfish. It just didn't register to me that you should have what I have. Like it's like you can literally you should get your own.
That's that only child.
No,
stuff.
it is. It's like
that is. I don't borrow books, so if somebody says, "Can I borrow your book?" and I'm like, "I can buy you the book." No, I can borrow. No, please, honestly, I will buy you the book. I don't borrow books. I don't know what it like. Even to my mum, my mum has asked for books. Like I buy her the same book. I don't know. I think, that's partly an only child, and it's partly growing up, people losing your books. And sorry, books are they're my legacy to my children. Yeah, the same people are giving their jewelry, people giving their jewelry and all of that, and giving my books. Okay, my books are the legacy I'm passing down to my children's children. These are years of reading. Reading saved my life to a degree. So it's important to me. I can't just give my book like that. I can buy you the book though.